Okay, so I had an incident with Safelite Auto Glass and USAA on their endless insurance fraud operations, which obviously link to something much bigger, which is the eradication of Kevin Perelman, because this keeps happening over and over and over. And I'm going to explain the situation as it happened last week and the week before with people who keep vandalizing my cars. Then I have to call USAA. Then I have to get my cars fixed. Then other things happen. Then more people vandalize my cars. Then it goes again. And then companies like JoJo's Auto Body in Reseda or whatever, try to get me to double sign USAA claims, to double charge USAA and make it look like it's me. Of course, I don't fall for the traps. JoJo's intentionally molding these side panels right down, and when I see what they're doing, I tell them that that doesn't look right, and they refuse to fix it. Even at the initial stages before anything was painted, okay, so see how it hooks, and see how there's a problem, see it already hit something? It hooks and then it hits something, and then what JoJo's is doing is they're notifying all the auto body shops, if Kevin comes in here, don't fix it, or charge him insane prices like $8,000, $5,000. Now, I've talked to several people that were overloaded that said this was about a $1,500 job to take the aftermarket AIT racing panel and merge. This is the factory panel. This is the AIT racing. See how it creases? They bent it in to create a hook instead of let it come out. Lowering this an inch, making hooks. The honest one said, you know what, cut here, put some body filler in there, bolt them back on. $1,500, it's not a big deal. The crooked ones, $4,000 or $5,000, and then this is clearly at $20,000. I've had all sorts of people. This is a $20,000 paint job. This is a $15,000 paint job. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, right. Okay, I bought the paint alone. $270 for half a gallon to paint the whole car. And if you'll look, you're not even painting this. You're not even painting that. Okay. So it's about a $4,000 or $5,000 paint job, and that's probably a fair. It might be less than that, depending on like the really good guy, $4,000 or $5,000. Okay, so let's be realistic. What the paint job really costs. While people try to give me disinformation, then, oh yeah, I just got my car painted. It costs $45,000. Like, Okay, so that being said, I'm going to talk about the latest USAA insurance fraud with Safelite, which is their partner company, or might even be under the same corporate umbrella. I'm not sure. But if something happens to your glass, they refer you straight to Safelite. I've had multiple situations with Safelite trying to steal all my money. And I will explain it on this video, and I will go into some details about the interconnected events, because it is not a one-time event. It is an endless worldwide 45-year event, or if you want to start at 16 when I first bought a car or started working on cars, that would be 35 years of endless worldwide conspiring acts from worldwide automotive people and everyone else in the communities, not just automotive, but everyone in the communities working with the auto shops to destroy every vehicle I have, make it look like I'm a reckless driver, make it look like I shouldn't be in society, on these government eradication operations, which also at the same time is insurance fraud, because they're working with the insurance companies to keep destroying my cars and make money, to maybe I'm going to kill that guy and make some money at the same time. And it has nothing to do with my Lord's Gym t-shirt in 1991 when Eric Christensen was paid off to have me killed with San Diego PD, and a girl named Kat and Jennifer in San Diego that he wanted me to meet, bringing me from Southern Oregon State to college to San Diego, who knows what angles they are working with Kelly Hatch and so many others, and Brian Weaver and Tom Farley and Mike Huntley, and all the people I thought were my friends in high school and middle school that were literally contacted and said, hunt Kevin and exterminate him at all costs. Okay, so but here I'm going to try to stick to my recent situation with Safelite and USAA in insurance fraud on a federal level, which they've been reported to the FBI, Bureau of Automotive Repair, LAPD for insurance fraud operations. I will be submitting to other agencies and however I can get the word out there what these endless, never-ending situations they're doing to me and possibly to others, because it could be people at USAA giving out USAA insurance car lists and saying, go break all these people's windows and make us money, okay? And we get kickbacks at Safelite or vice versa with USAA, and I will talk about that. And I will show you what was done and how I was treated to try to make it look like I'm a criminal for their endless 45-year or 35-year never-ending crime sprees, while they are now, after I bought my Corvette 2.5, 3 years ago, which is still not back together. Interesting. And things have escalated after I bought a car in Pennsylvania and drove it across the U.S. while they're trying to cover it up. Well, it's the signs on your car. It's the signs on your car that are making worldwide groups hunt you to exterminate you. Well, we think you're crazy, so we're going to hunt you and exterminate you. That doesn't quite add up. Especially when I turned 29, I met with Mike Huntley's death threats that I'm a dead man with worldwide support. Noticing a worldwide operation to have me killed. Okay, so after Mike Huntley tells me he's going to kill me with a plan of people are making fun of me and hunting me to kill me? Okay, well, let's isolate that argument. How does a planet of people know about Kevin Perelman, whether he was to be crazy or not, blows out or exposes the entire argument that that's not normal, that takes billions of government dollars and NSA level tools to build, torture, and kill systems around a 5-year-old, which really get bad in 1994 when the internet came around and my brother wanted me to see the internet so bad. So it doesn't matter what they say, it matters what they're doing, and what they're doing easily exposes the situation to what it really is, and anyone on their side is pretty much a child rapist and a murderer, period. Even if they've been told that I'm a horrible monster, the tools that are being given are allowing them to hunt and kill whoever they want. And if their belief system is I can hunt people I don't like, then they're criminals and murderers to begin with. And those hypocrites, their opinions they're weightless. There's no weight to anything they say, because what they do goes against everything they say. Hey, it's wrong to kill, so I'm going to go out and kill. It's wrong to kill, and that guy I think killed someone, so I'm going to go kill him. Well, it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what you do. Okay, so that being said, I am going to go through the window and the door skin and what they did, and more importantly than what they did, what they refused to fix, how they're trying to cover it up, and how once again the next thing in a minute-by-minute 45-year sequence of things since 5 years old is going on. And when these cover-ups are done, example, Kevin talked to corporate, this happened, you're a liar and you're a criminal, that instantly goes worldwide from the business. And why does it go worldwide from the business? It goes worldwide from the business because they're involved in something on insane proportions that they don't want the truth coming out on any level, or me talking on any level, on any forum, on any arena, exposing not just them, but a global extermination operation to kill me and take all my money. But I guess the money is sort of a secondary benefit from killing me in my father's hate and rage for his 5-year-old, because it's not one sicko, it's a planet all conspiring on the same computer networks that have me killed since 5 years old with NSA level kill tools. And that doesn't make sense, and it's not heard of, and that is not the way the world works, and we all know it. Okay, so this is documentation of the window here that Safelite glass broke. The linkage somehow or loosened it, I'm not sure. I'm going to take that off tonight and take a look. So first of all, from last week, someone smashing the window once again, going through windows and all sorts of things. Safelite repairing the glass through USAA. We're not using Safelite again, but Safelite with USAA, which might be an insurance fraud scam because they keep working on my cars. I go to USAA. They try to double charge me. They try to make me do second claims. Example, second claim through USAA. Pay a copay. They get paid out twice for each, right? They get paid out for this. So they get paid. Someone then breaks the glass. Go back. So we're not going to Safelite. Now this is something here. Where is it? I think it's this. Yeah, it's this. Someone trying to break this glass. And Safelite stating that they no longer, actually I made a mistake on the phone thinking it was this one, but either way it doesn't matter. Safelite stating, or Safelite stating that they don't make this glass, found it for sale on like Amazon and eBay for like a couple $100, maybe $300. Okay, so I think it was actually cheaper, but whatever. So they do make it, so what they're doing is they're pocketing the money. Okay, Safelite. And that was when they broke this glass too. Okay, so all Safelite. Okay, all USAA and Safelite in insurance fraud scams working with the auto body shops. Okay, so what they did, as I'm opening my door here. Okay, see how it's hooked. So this is hooking. Oh, and see how the door skin here is hooking because it's falling off. It's not all the way on, which we're going to take off, and we're going to see if the actual linkage is broken. Okay, so what happened was I go to the car. They say your car's done after replacing the windshield. Guy says your door skin's loose. It wasn't like this, obviously. And I open the door and the thing falls to the ground, and he sort of laughs and snickers. He says it and he walks away and he's laughing. This falls to the ground. Safelite's trying to cover it up because they know they're involved in fraudulent activities. I've now filed a complaint with the Bar Association, Bureau of Automotive Repair. I've submitted a report to the FBI and insurance fraud operations because they've been working on my cars for 20 years nonstop. And actually there's events at 16 too with insurance companies and people trying to cause accidents and things like that. Okay, or actually did cause accidents, things that didn't make sense to me. So insurance fraud rotating from citizens or auto body shop people, and and they're targeting to who knows. Actually it's probably about removing me from society and making me look crazy, but they're also stealing money and trying to make me homeless, right? Okay, so we're gonna take this off. Oh, and then I report to them, I want to come back and get it fixed. Then this stops working. I hear a crunch noise, which is on video. Push on the window, crunch, it stops. So my guess is they pulled this off, they loosened a few bolts. And, it goes up and down enough times. And then, eventually it slides out or whatever. Okay, so they have claimed that they haven't done anything. They're adamant before me ever coming down, showing their guilt. Does that make sense? It wasn't us. Come on down. Right? How do you know it wasn't you? How do you know you're not that asshole employee? Okay, so it was them. And they indirectly admitted that way by their behavior. And it's a simple fix, actually. Worst case scenario, I spend like $50 on some linkage and fix it. But it's something they should do. And instead of sitting there, I'm reporting them and doing whatever I can to hold these people accountable, which is literally with cars and things 30 years over and over daily, right, or as much as they can. It gets really bad at 29. I'm 50. 1 terabyte of videos of car vandalism just keep coming after me, okay, with mass groups. But the insurance companies, they're not doing anything to stop it. I mean, there's a paper trail 1 billion miles long, 1 terabyte of data alone of car vandalisms. you'd think the cops would go after people, and that's where it gets really weird and freaky. Okay, but sticking to Safelite. Okay, this is the most recent incident. Okay, one more thing. I don't know why my window, I tried just one-handed, so I've been sort of pushing this up and down to manually. It generally falls down, except there's so much duct tape sticks crap here. I had to try to keep it up. Maybe I'll get that off tonight. Whatever. Okay, so this, I don't know why it's not, I think. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So it's getting the duct tape stick. I had to hold it up with duct tape. Okay, so you get the idea. So I'm going to pull off the door panel, see what the linkage looks like, if the linkage is chewed up or whatever. But I did that side, so they're probably, because all this information is going out worldwide, this private information, they know that I've fixed that side, so they're saying, hey, you know, Kevin did it himself because we know that he knows how to work on cars, so he's a criminal. And they work that angle too with computers. Kevin knows computers, so he's a hacker. Okay, things like that. Things that don't make sense. Now, more importantly, when we're seeing, there's a video camera there, when we're seeing Citiguard working with Safelite, the little thready messages from last night as well. Citiguard's involvement, security companies paid off by the HOA and things that are sort of stranger, right? But in the end, stealing all my money, stealing all my cars, my house, making me homeless, starve in the streets, or try to force me into a mental institution, it's all the same things. They're fraudulent operations with insurance companies, insurance frauds. But in this case, LAPD officers involved in illegal activities to steal my money and things like that. So, okay, so that's it. And we're going to report them to the police too, as well. And so I'm going to take off the door panel now. Okay, so before we pull this off, I believe there's 2 bolts. There's one here. It's hard to see, but it looks like the bolt is still in there. And I thought there was a second one around here somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe here. And it looks, we're going to pull off the door panel. It looks like it was forced, like the brackets were broken off. Okay, so let's take a look. What they did. So it looks like they might have sort of pried it off, breaking the plastic tab. On one of the doors, I actually broke it off one point and glued it on, but I've noticed that there's something a little strange, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we replaced this window and this thing fell to the ground. Well, this has nothing to do with that thing. Why did it? Okay, right? So we're going to pull this off. Okay, so I pulled off the panel. Now you can see here, this is screwed in. This tab is broken off. This one screw is also in, and the tab is broken off. Okay, so what's the point I'm making here? When this went in the Safelite, they grabbed here and they ripped it off. Okay, breaking the plastic tabs. Okay, now Safelite knows that. Safelite knows that. So what that means is I need a new door skin. Okay, that means I need a new door skin. So Safelite forcibly, you know, I can't say from where, ripped it off. And then when you guys said your glass is done, your glass is ready. This will be Mike at Safelite is manager, but it's all of them. Okay, they're all involved, and the corporation's involved, and they're trying to double charge USAA, and USAA might be involved because Safelite is possibly an umbrella corporation. But hey, file a claim. Is it glass related? Go to Safelite. Okay, you get it. It's a referral. It's a referral. Now they finally added an option to go somewhere else, but we're directing you to Safelite as if they're taking a part of the profit, correct? Okay, a kickback. Okay. So the panel was forcibly removed. Now I can't tell you, some of the tabs are missing because he put it on half-ass and it fell off later after he put it on. But he did break. So this tab here on the door skin, which is sort of plastic riveted together, and this tab here. So I need a new door skin to really screw it on. I mean, you could pop these on, but the screws themselves to really hold it on right, to where your hand pulls the door. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the linkage. So now they ripped off the door panel, and by the way, it took me, knowing what I'm doing, it took me 10 minutes top. It took me about 2 minutes to pull this off. Okay, because I know what I'm doing. And we still have this piece. Okay. All right. So flat out ripped the door off and broke the bracket. Okay. So now we're gonna take a look, and I guess they're thinking they're gonna intimidate me somehow. Now when the guy pulled it off, he said, "Well, I know what's bad. The guy that installed your speakers did it, right?" And I said, "Well, it's, by the way, oh, did they do something to the speakers?" I can't. No, they didn't. Okay. So he said the guy installed your speakers because I see scratch marks on your speaker thing. I was like, "What are you fucking talking about?" It was fine till I got here. Okay, so I guess I'll put this on YouTube as well as send it to all the insurance and all the other companies. So I'm gonna go look in here in the linkage here. This door has been operated on before, which is irrelevant, and they're trying to play a game like, well, it was you, because someone fixed this linkage here. One of the shops fixed the linkage here, so it's you, right? Because look, this has been taken off, so it's you. Well, that's not the way it works, right? I mean, listen, the event happened at your location. It came in fine. Okay, so this is Safelite involved in insurance fraud, and my insurance company is USAA, and they're giving me the runaround. By the way, they're just, call this one, go to the next one, call this one. Oh, I'll refer you to this department, I'll refer you to this department. It just keeps going in a secular circle. And Safelite is saying, "Oh, I looked at the notes and we're not going to help you. We're not going to fix it." Okay, so it's a ring, it's a money-making ring of possibly people running around with USAA customer lists from USAA to make money, correct? Okay, now I'm not saying I know that for sure. I am saying I've reported them to the FBI for insurance fraud across US, out of California, worldwide, or US based. Okay, I've reported them to the BAR, Bureau of Automotive Repair. I'm reporting them to LAPD because I have over 1 terabyte now of daily vandalisms, and they're random people, but they all seem to be in the loop of destroy Kevin, his cars, try to steal his house, try to steal his cars, make him homeless, starve in the streets. Okay, on something that opens up doors to something much bigger. Okay, because it actually starts at a very young age, but in the end it's steal everything from Kevin and take everything he has, and whether it's really about trying to make me look crazy and force me into a mental institution, which some of those death threats at a very young age, and with my brother and his friends. Okay, so it's all very secular, and it's sort of all the above. Steal money, so fraud, theft, attempted murder, extermination, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this off and see how my guess is, from what we've already seen, that they probably loosen the 2 bolts, or however many bolts that holds the glass to the linkage. But the linkage might be screwed up, and it might be screwed up because when the glass came off, right, or whatever. Okay, so they know how to fix it, but they refused. They could have fixed it in an hour or less. They refused. They made up lies. This is Safelite. USAA just keeps giving me the runaround, trying to get me to angrier and angrier. The same things that my father started in on me at 5 years old. Kevin's a violent paranoid schizoid with now worldwide groups trying to rile me up minute by minute, never ending, to get reactions, go, he's crazy, see, we gotta lock him away, and steal everything he has, correct? Okay, so attempted murder, theft, eradication, starving in the street, whatever, all the above. Okay, so this links to everything, and it links to situations even at 16 where people were waiting by the Honda dealership on Ventura Boulevard on the shoulder, launching vehicles perpendicular and jumping out of the car, screaming, you tried to kill me after causing an accident, where they're perpendicular to the fast lane and you can't avoid them. And then the insurance company calling up, they weren't USAA back then, but they said it's a 50-50. And I said, how's it a 50-50? I'm going straight, and they're lying in the middle of the road, stopping in front of a car going straight, right? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. So the insurance company back then, in this sort of ring of insurance fraud going on. Okay, so let me take this off. Okay, so quickly, just reaching in the door, I didn't find anything except a broken piece of one of the door rivets and another plastic, probably part of the bracket. And if you look here, so you can see it was forcibly removed in a high-speed method because these things are made to pop out. So someone just ripped it off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the key in and see how the linkage functions. My guess is what they originally did is there's a clamp mechanism that holds the glass. I don't remember if there's one or two. I think there's one, but let's see how the linkage, if it's still working. I think it is. And I forgot, I need to hook this window control back up. Okay, so the linkage, it's gonna be hard to see here. Look at the light. Okay, so the linkage here is bad. Now, why is the linkage bad? Well, my guess, okay, you can't really see it too well. This thing is now bad, and the metal cable is shredded, but the metal cable, I'm guessing, shredded after the glass. Okay, so example. Okay, this thing goes up and down with the linkage. It has some cabling and a motor that spins. And when the glass pops off and the linkage doesn't know what to do, it's pulling the cable. You understand what I'm saying? It's pulling the cable, and the cable's, it doesn't have the right tension, and nothing's on the track, and it's shredding the cable because everything's off the track. And okay, so without proof, you can assume if the door was ripped off, correct, that they probably loosened the bolts that holds the glass onto the bracket that moves up and down by the cables. And once the glass came off and I pushed the motor, the cable shreds. Okay, it doesn't know what to do, it breaks. Okay, now I've replaced that one, so I know how these things work. It's 4 bolts and then 2 more pop it on. It's probably even harder to get the door off with the little thingy. Okay, but what we see here, what we know for sure, this was snapped off by an angry person. Okay, this is anger by someone at Safelite. Okay, someone at Safelite. In this case, it's Sun Valley location, but corporate is involved, and I believe USAA is involved. I don't know about USA for sure, but they won't deal with the situation, running around in circles, trying to get me angry and angrier, okay? A common tactic we see. People destroying my cars and saying we won't fix it and this and that. Okay, why is my Corvette now been out of commission for 2.5 years right after buying it? Think about that. Well, John Elway, Chevrolet, and other dealerships in Colorado were told to screw with it, and all across the U.S. Okay, so think about that. For getting an oil change and suspension tampering as I brought it in at the Ramada Hotel, I think it was, one of the hotels out in Denver. First night there, okay, where I went to college in the 90s, was trying to cover up. Okay, so I'm going to take some pictures of the linkage, and then I'll pull it out later on and take more pictures, but okay, once again, you can barely see it at this angle, but this is shredded. I'm going to try to get some pictures of that. Okay. Okay, so I'm not pulling this out tonight. Until I order new linkage here. But I have enough to submit to all the different people to show proof that the door was forcibly removed. My guess is they unbolted the glass. Hey, what does a Safelite do? They replace glass, correct? They unbolt those. They know I'm going to come back, so they're trying to provoke and work with the manager Mike, and sit there and hint that I'm a criminal. And when I come down for my repair appointment, go, no, we didn't do it, and we're calling the cops on you, and they're going to pick you up. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, whatever. Okay, and Safelite trying to cover it up. My first thing I want to say is don't use Safelite. They're criminals, and they're involved in insurance fraud operations. Okay, now, if you're a USAA member and something happens to your glass, the first thing USAA website is going to say, or on the phone, is it glass related? Go to Safelite. We'll redirect you to Safelite. Okay, so my guess is they're an umbrella corporation, and they're having people damage cars on a USAA list, and then they call their insurance company, and then you go get your car fixed, and then they break something else, and then you have to take it back, and they keep charging you more and more. And just on that note, I've had several mechanics working with my insurance company, like JoJo's Automotive, doing the same types of things. Example, intentionally doing this wrong and raking the body panel down, and then telling all the auto shops not to fix it. So I go to shop after shop, and in this case, this side hitting the ground because they're hooks. Okay, if you, just to show you, on a ground level. Okay, see how it hooks down? They're making hooks. And they actually didn't reinforce that. This is JoJo's Auto Body on Reseda, California. Working with USAA. I can't say working with, but trying to get me to sign a secondary USAA claim, the same one, to double charge USAA with my signature. And I said, no, get the hell away from me, right? Okay, so JoJo's Automotive, Safelite Glass, and they're all linking to USAA. And I can't tell you, I'm not going to say I know USAA knows it's going on, but I will say that I've notified them several times, with 23, since I bought the Corvette 2.5 years ago, something like 23, more like, let's say 18 to 20 claims of intentional incidences for shops to make money, okay? And the Corvette, obviously, when John Elway Chevrolet is lying that it needs a new engine, that's $22,000 invoice right there, okay? So, which has now cost a lot more. Okay, so, I'm just gonna note that. And I'll take that out after I get the new linkage, and I'll take a look at it and video it. And usually when I video and do these things, more things happen to me in my cars, and attacks, and sometimes even police following me, trying to intimidate me and things like that. So you could say there's probably some police officers on the take. And my father used to do, I don't know if he still does, I disowned him, but he used to do work comp insurance. So now you understand who he's linked in and what he's having people do to my life. Okay, so I haven't talked to him in like 6 years or something. I just said, you know what, this guy's a fucking psychotic child rapist, sicko that won't leave me alone now with worldwide support. So, so that being said, that's where we are. Door forcibly removed. Bracketry broken. Hinting it was the guy that changed the speakers and things like that. Was me a long time ago. That was like me a couple of years ago or something. Well, when the car drove in the shop yesterday, not 2 years ago or whatever, that door panel is on, okay, and someone ripped it off. Okay, so now from that deductive reasoning, someone unscrewed that, and then when it eventually loosened within the next couple of days, and then the linkage went up and down without the window and then the cable. And if you want to say, well, theoretically, coincidentally, it happened at the same time, I doubt it, right? They could have wedged something in there, or we know for sure that they tampered with it. They ripped off the door, right? Okay, so once again, snickering, Kevin, your door skin's loose. I open the door, it falls to the ground. Now that we've had a chance, I make him put it on. He's continual lies. We don't do that. All our guys are out to lunch. I'll try to put it on myself. It starts sort of flopping off. And obviously, he knows that I'm going to come back because they broke these, right? And this is where your hand pulls the door handle and the door's going to fly off, okay? So they broke these. Okay. So he knew I was coming back. He knew I was going to make the calls, and it's all planned out. It was premeditated. And so I guess that's it for now, and I'm just going to document it, and this is going to go to the insurance and probably the police and all sorts of different, possibly FBI for insurance fraud. And so they can understand what's been going on since I was 16, and it actually starts before that. But in the last 20 years, with Mike Huntley's death threats, you're out of control monster, I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with, dropping papers on my desk how to make people mentally ill and kill them, walking around the office singing world of paranoia, telling me that he's telling everyone in the world all my horrible things I've done, which are fictional things he's making up. This manager's name was Mike. That was interesting. Saying that the police are going to pick me up, and this is sort of playing the same parallel schizo game, which isn't a game. And they're not doing it because I'm Kevin Perelman of KevinPerelmanTarget.com. This starts 38 years, minute by minute, before that website went up in card. So you can't start at the end, you have to start at the beginning. Okay, so if these events keep happening, there's 1 terabyte of photos and videos of similar situations of what I have energy to document. So there's actually a lot more, if you understand that. And also what might be aggravating them is some of the things I wrote about my brother's threats when I was like 10 years old. Because they won't stop, right? They just, the more they know, the more information is in my brain that I possibly could tell someone, the angrier they get. Before it's even stated, someone might even ask me about my life without me saying anything. And once they realize there's information in my brain, the attacks ramp up. Okay, now remember, Citiguard is involved and several other security companies in these illegal operations. So you're going to say, why are security companies hunting people? Why aren't they supposed to protect people and protect properties? No, they're hunting. They're paid off to stalk and hunt and exterminate or silence me, especially Citiguard. And as this event occurred, Citiguard came back with lots of groups of civilians working with them, stalking me last night and today. They ramped it up as I went back yesterday, say you need to fix this, and them saying no, we won't fix it. I'm going and threatening, I'm calling the cops and they're gonna pick you up, trying to scare me, and me going, get the fuck away from my face, you piece of shit, right? Something like that. Okay, so, and then the corporation going, we have notes, and there was a scene. Well, the only scene was the guy walked out of my car, sitting there telling me I'm a liar and this and that, and they said, you're not gonna fix it? Well, I'm gonna call the bar, and I'm gonna call USAA, and I'm gonna call your corporate. And that's when he threatened me that he's gonna call the cops, when I said, I'm gonna call your corporate department. Okay, so, and why would Citiguard out here in Woodland Hills be coming out for Sun Valley things unless Citiguard is paid to silence me, correct? And I have thousands or hundreds of thousands of videos on them stalking and trying to intimidate with my HOA. So it gets really weird, and it gets but it's coming down to insurance fraud. People in the LAPD are involved stealing money through insurance. And you can then start to understand what my father was doing when I was a kid with insurance companies and freaky things on setup and frame jobs that I didn't know were going on until 29. I still don't really understand some of them, or a lot of them, but some of them I do. Figuring out after 29, maybe around 35. And so that's it for now. So until I put the linkage, but I already know the cables are screwed, so really what else do you need? Once again, door skin ripped off, brackets broken. Kevin, you did this. You're trying to steal our money. Insurance companies with them trying to get me to file more claims with more co-pays, and they get double paid. So, right. So I'm not going to say I know if USAA is involved, but I told them, you know, this is going on. And if you don't, I mean, I would think that you wouldn't want to associate with criminal trash like this, but you never know, right? I mean, so who's involved in what, and who's taking the money, and who's getting the kickbacks. And okay, so then them trying to use me as a scapegoat to say, look, it's Kevin, and probably trying to pin bigger things on me, because why do I have a worldwide campaign to execute me that I'm not allowed to know about, which I trace all the way down to 5 years old, and switching and changing setups and frame jobs and weird freaky things with billions of government dollars. But that's a whole different issue. This is related, but there are other things associated that they could be stealing everyone else's money as well. I mean, I know they're going after me, trying to destroy daily all my cars from auto shop to auto shop. But I have a feeling they're doing this to other people, and then it's going, oh, they suffer from mental illness, right? Don't listen to them. They suffer from mental illness. Okay, so now Mike Huntley is obviously a criminal. This is a different Mike, but Mike Huntley from when I was 14, working with my brother, and he and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution, is a whole different animal linked to these events that they don't want me talking about. And this is probably a threat about me talking about Mike Huntley, especially when the guy's talking about speakers and things like that, right? Hint, hint, it's the speaker, it's your mouth, and you're singing, and now we have to try to intimidate you. Okay, so remember that KevinPerelman.target.com, I try to explain this insane worldwide minute by minute 45-year extermination, eradication, murder operations with mental illness label cover-ups to try to eradicate me. But you know, it takes a lot of talking and people to take the time to understand, and they just don't want the people they know who are involved to be exposed as what they took part in, and that's the biggest problem. Okay, so I'll continue after I rip out the linkage. Oh, I should note one last thing. As they try to sort of intimidate me with these cameras and Citiguard to not fix my vehicles, they also are making it impossible for me to take my cars places where they'll quadruply charge me insane prices. Like someone might charge me $3,000, quote me, to do what I can do myself in 30 minutes here. Okay, so just to understand that, and a good example would be this convertible top, where 4 or 5 different dealers, or one dealer, 3 or 4 other private shops told me it was about $1,000 to $1,500 for the 5th Bose sensors, and after I bought a $60 Autel scanner, it turned out to be a $30 trunk latch switch, tricking the top into thinking the trunk's open so it wouldn't open and close. Where am I going with that? I'm going, how did Irwindale Mitsubishi to Thousand Oaks, that's like an hour's drive, to Reseda, all have the same disinformation to make $1,500 or $1,000 or $2,000 off a top? It turned out it was a $30 trunk latch switch. Okay, think about that. And apply that to 50 years of my life, minute by minute, billions of dollars on government internet kill tools and terror tools with NSA and psychology community extermination operations. Okay, so I'm going off the insurance fraud thing here, but it still is insurance fraud because it's a routine process, and my guess is they have someone with the USAA list bashing people's windows, and then they all call USAA, And guess what? They all get referred to Safelite, correct? And then Safelite fixes the window, and then they do something here, or do something here, or do something here. And remember, they state, while pocketing USAA money, this window here they don't make anymore. Okay, my camera battery died. Okay, so remember that they claim that this window they don't make anymore for my 2007 Envoy, which is absurd. Which I realized because the car wasn't in front of me, that it was this right here where the guy hit this with like some object, and this didn't break. And then he went over here and he put a hole through the back and they ripped out the rear window. I believe that was actually linked with LAPD. I sort of want to note that to try to scare me quiet. And USAA, so they're pocketing the money. See, they're fixing that, and Safelite is then pocketing the money instead of buying the new $58. By the way, this is $58. $58. New on eBay or Amazon, whatever, $58. So when they're getting that $1,000 to fix this, and they won't even buy the $58 thing or spend the labor hour, which I'm gonna do here, they're pocketing the money. Okay, Safelite is pocketing, they're stealing the money from USAA. Now, is USAA or people in USAA or people in LAPD, because LAPD refuses to investigate 20 years of daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, things like this over and over. They refuse to investigate it. Or people like Sean Dinsey, Jensen, Detective Angela Stewart, Detective Shapiro pocketing money off these vandalisms? Very possibly, okay. That needs to be investigated. Okay, so, and that's the paying division, LAPD, which for some reason, no matter how many things I bring in on video, black and white proof, they won't direct it at me. They won't do anything with "you're crazy," showing that they're on the take. Okay, they're stealing money, and that also applies to Rody Morales 25 years ago or whatever, 21 years ago, trying to plant a trash bag full of marijuana in my house that I'm guessing was taken from LAPD, because Rody was working with LAPD to catch someone at my gym who supposedly killed someone. At the same time, Mike Huntley wanted to get me in that gym and have Rody Morales friend me. Okay, so think about that as well. Okay, now I do have newspaper clippings on my website of daily news proving that Rody Morales was working with LAPD at my gym at the time that Mike Huntley wanted me to sign up for the gym. Okay, so think about all these things, the whole ball of wax, and not just one fraudulent operation, but back-to-back endless money theft operations that LAPD seems to be involved in, and largely probably drugs, selling drugs, taking drugs from criminals, and then going out trying to make money with the drugs in the police impound or whatever the fuck you call it, right? Okay, so I will continue this later when we pull that out, but we already know what we're gonna see. Okay, so I'm just gonna note as I go back in, without going through the entire ball of wax, that the LAPD, after sending Rody Morales after me, trying to plant a trash bag full of marijuana in my house, me going, I don't want that in my house, for 15 years, that was in about 2000, for 15 years, try to make it look like I was a drug dealer. Okay, so just remember that this has nothing to do with mental illness. It has nothing to do with mind games or jokes or teasing. What's the joke? Because you didn't put the marijuana in your house, that they spent years after trying to get search warrants with illegal arrests, right? It's not a joke. And the laughing and Kevin crazy, that's a cover-up to the bigger picture that literally starts at 5 years old. So that's a cover-up operation. Okay, and I'll just note, someone sort of left this here, and usually they leave things all over. This is worldwide, but they leave things with the idea of reference messages. Sort of a tinny piece of metal that, who knows, whatever. Okay, so as I'm just finishing up here tonight, I thought about it, and hey, we're gonna put this thing and make it look like a crime scene. Like, hey, look, someone tried to wedge in your car like we're creating a crime scene. Now, one of the tactics they do is they all get together to provoke me, try to get me to call the cops, and the cops go out, and the cops try to make it look like I'm destroying my own cars, and I'm crazy, and I'm destroying myself, and okay, right? So, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try to get the cops out here. Look, there's a pry bar, except the only problem with all that is that everything was on the door. The door was fine until I went to Safelite and picked it up, and it fell right on the ground. Okay, so that's when all the things were broken. It fell off. It got loose. This is my temporary. It got loose at Safelite. It didn't get loose here. Okay, it literally fell to the ground at Safelite, not here. Okay, so nobody did anything here. Okay, but more importantly, random people involved from here, okay? And that is really where you're gonna say it's not one bad seed. It's Safelite, but there's all sorts of different setup and frame jobs from stranger to stranger. This has been going on from University of Colorado to Southern Oregon State College to Calabasas High, where Mr. Quigley's, my English teacher's telling me to punch Paul Schaefer, trying to set me up, make me look like a violent paranoid schizo. Okay, so nonstop for 45, 50 years. Okay, so that's the more important question is, example, this girl in the white soul that sees me and honks her alarm horn twice trying to set me up, and let's just get the license plate, why not? Or the guy with the Brazers plate here, which probably isn't even from Brazers, I can't tell you. Okay, or also working on setup and frame job and provoking, minute by minute provokings that start at 5 years old with my father and my brother and mother saying, keep provoking Kevin and make it look like he's too sensitive, right? Okay, so what is the point I'm making here in this worldwide ring of sickos with a child rapist father who doesn't like 5-year-olds and works with the police and everyone he knows to exterminate me, where it really starts. What you need to understand is that the police were paid off to do things like put bullet holes in my father's 300E when I was 16 Mercedes, and then tell the world I tried to kill and scare him, and things with Pineapple Joe at Hawaii Racing when I bought the 426 Hemi, saying Kevin's crazy, and then making lies that I stole the 426 Hemi and stole my $10,000 from my father, and things that they don't want me talking about that are in the thousands and thousands that never stop. Okay, that's the real question here. That's what's really going on. Okay, so LAPD illegal involvements to exterminate 5-year-olds with my father and all sorts of child abuse and child molesting things that are beyond any level of disturbing, but these things you're seeing here have been daily for 45 years, and I didn't know they were going on for the first 29 years, but what kind of person would say, Kevin, you don't talk? And this is worldwide, okay? Those are sick child rapists, okay? So I'm just gonna sort of note that anyone that supports this is a child rapist or a child rapist supporter. And when I say rape, I don't mean in a physical form, I mean in psychological terror and, hey, Kevin, watch this movie, and then try to make it look like I conform to media, and what we're seeing now that has never ever ended or stopped and starts at 5 years old. Okay. Okay, so this is probably 2 days later. I ordered this window regulator off Amazon for $50. So just when these mechanics are stealing your money or whatever, just understand the reality that this is an hour job and a $50 part. Hour job if you're fumbling, probably. Let's mark it up to an hour. That's $60 to $100 an hour and a $50 part, minus the fact that I have to buy a door skin, which could range from $100 to $250 to $80 for the door skin. And the reason I have to buy a door skin is because they ripped off and broke the brackets. Normally, if your window just breaks, the brackets don't break in the door, they pull off the door and they put it back on. So just the regulator here. Now remember, the glass isn't broken at Safelite. Tampered with. And also I'm going to know that there'll probably be people possibly running out, jumping into their cars and trying to figure out how to provoke me And you can say why, and they're going to do it in a passive aggressive method. They're going to honk their alarm horn twice. Well, the reason why is that worldwide, federally, all the auto shops are linked, saying we're not going to fix Kevin's car, we're going to harass him, or we're going to fix it for like $1,000 to $2,000 to $4,000 and try to force me into that position. Now you're going to say, that's crazy. How is it there's an entire worldwide network to do this to someone, and it's not a couple of criminals, it's a government system, NSA level, to torture, terrorize, and exterminate a 5-year-old, okay? And the cover-up is we want to make money in these unheard of methods. Well, why invest billions? Example, if I go in, okay, if I do what they want me to do and force me to go into a mechanic, an auto shop, 90% are going to say, well, you know, in order to fix your window here, which is really just tightening a couple bolts, if the door skin and the bracketry and the regulator didn't break after the window came off, or whatever they did, mechanic says it's going to be $2,000. I go, are you crazy? It's like a $150 job, you know, without parts. No, with parts. Minus the door skin. No, it's $1,000. That's it. Okay, so I go to the next place, I go to the next place, I go to the next place. No. We want $1,000, I want $2,000, I want $3,000, I want $4,000. Oh wait. That's crazy. I can't even afford it, yet alone, this isn't a fucking Rolls Royce. I can't fucking afford it. This is a if you were to buy this truck off like cars.com, especially in my condition, this would be like tops $3,000 to $4,000 car, okay? So the point I'm making is, if you have a $4,000 car and it costs you $4,000 to fix the window, that doesn't make sense. Okay, now they're doing their cover up is it's to make money. It's really to drive you crazy, to get you to start beating the shit out of people and go, he's a violent paranoid schizo, and he just flipped and attacked me. Okay, hence coming back to manager Mike at Safelite Glass, who knows. Okay, this is the freaky part. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this. So a while back I called AAA because the key wasn't working in here and the linkage was broken. Okay, now the linkage does get old. It's a little metal bar and it's a little plastic clip. That's all. It's a 10-cent plastic clip that breaks and gets old, or someone forces the key. But a lot of times, if you go on YouTube's and you look at the door handle and this little clip, they break all the time. Okay, they get old. This is a 2007. It's 15 years old. They break. Okay, and when I came in here, so I'll show you. When I came in here, this piece here was it was stuck on. So what you will notice, I pulled it off. What you will notice is you can tell that the door hasn't been tampered with, or wasn't at that point when this piece of foam was stuck on. Now I pulled the foam off and I had a mechanic on Reseda. I was having problems getting the stupid clip on. It was a nightmare getting that clip on, right? So you have to sort of dig through here and get this little, this linkage. It's really cheesy how they engineer cheap shit. You have to reach up there and get this little clip on in there, and I couldn't do it, so I brought it to a mechanic, which charged me $90, and they started getting accusatory, like, you did this and you did that, and I was like, dude, I'm just trying to pay you for a fucking job. Like, I don't need the fucking Spanish Inquisition because I'm nice enough to give you my money. Now you're gonna say, what's the point? The guy sounds like an asshole. No, that's not he wasn't an asshole. I mean, he is an asshole, but that's not the point. The point is that after that, all this information between the AAA guy, between the mechanic shop on Reseda, probably right by Reseda and Hart, is disseminating worldwide this information instantly, and that's the point. Now you're going to say, on what network? I mean, is there a Kill Kevin network? Yes, there is a Kill Kevin network, and it was designed by the NSA and FBI, and it came around in 1994 when my brother wanted me to see the internet so bad when I was at University of Colorado. So yes, if I was any other person, this would be impossible. Okay, they wouldn't have the resources. But everyone on the planet has the resources. And why does everyone on the planet have the resources to drive Kevin crazy? Well, it's my brother's death threats. Me and my friends are going to force you into a mental institution, but it's really coming from my father at 5 years old and my family and their hate towards me. Kevin needs to die. I hate my 5-year-old. We're going to make him look crazy and try to make him look like this and that and just sort of keep working on him and keep him isolated and not allow him to have friends or anything, right? Okay, so obviously creating the appearance and the disinformation worldwide, minute by minute worldwide, that I'm now doing this or now doing that. Okay. Sticking to the topic here. Sticking to the topic. It's irrelevant if this is loose or not. But what they're trying to do is say, hey, Kevin took his car to a mechanic and he had the mechanic fix this, and Kevin did it, and Kevin's up to something, and Kevin's a criminal, so he's trying to steal the money while we try to steal his money, and this weird crazy thing that's been going on minute by minute. Example, Rody Morales taking me to strip clubs 25 years ago, one in each state, Val Morozov in Colorado, Rody Morales here, Tom Farley here, Eric Christensen in Southern Oregon State College. Kevin's a criminal because he goes to strip clubs working on the credibility. We're taking you here. Kevin's a criminal. Porn stars were waiting for me at strip clubs and things like that. Kevin's stalking me. Kevin suffers from obsession. He's crazy. He's a stalker. He's a stalker. Okay, right? Now you're going to say, this isn't like just a couple of people going, we want to steal this guy's money here. This is a planetary, minute by minute, 45 years since 5-year-old operation with teachers in high school, professors in college, you name it. So it's not about making money. Okay, so now let's get back to Safelite. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to put the camera over here. I think you can see this. I'm not sure. Oh. Okay, I'm just, my sensors. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So, okay, so let me turn that light off. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is that my door skin was sort of halfway off after I said at Safelite, he said, he walks up to me, he snickers, he laughs, he says, your door skin is loose, and he sort of chuckles and walks away back inside. I open the door and boom, it pops to the ground. Okay, that's not loose, that's off. I say, look, that's not funny, blah, 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 you know, put it back on. Oh, he makes up excuses. Oh, our people are at lunch, and he makes up an excuse. We don't do that here. Wait, when you're replacing glass, you don't take off the door skin? Then he sort of tries to do it himself, and he does it half-assed because they want me to come back. Okay, so I probably already explained this. So I call up corporate and I say, you know, I didn't find this joke funny or whatever, you know, the door skin's flopping off at the bottom. I think I have video of that, how it was sort of loose and you couldn't open the door 2 days ago. And they need to fix this. Well, that weekend, which was Labor Day weekend, I hear a crunching noise putting down the window. And then as I showed you, it tore up the regulator wires, cables. Okay, now that's all from their tampering, but what they're trying to do is say, we know, based on other mechanics in this terror and exterminate a 5-year-old network, which the government is blasting out, obviously reverse lies, and I'm harassing women and I'm doing all these things as cover-ups to justify killing or exterminating a 5-year-old. Remember that every day when these lies are made up, they go out instantly worldwide, so I have no recourse to say you've been lied to. And then they get mad, going, people don't want to know about your life, but they've already been told a version of my life, which is untrue. And so I have the right, First Amendment constitutional freedom of speech, to say you've been lied to. And most people don't like my you've been lied to because they're sick, demented child rapist supporters or child rapists, and they can't understand right from wrong, okay? Or they can't understand the simple logic that if billions of government dollars are being spent to kill someone, with no trial reason, like, hey, Kevin robbed a bank, okay, we have proof, we arrest him, he goes through a trial, right? Because you have to prove my guilt. They're not proving any guilt, they're just hunting me at 5-year-old saying, I think Kevin's the next Unabomber because he hugged a girl for 5 seconds instead of 4 seconds. And the more isolated they make me, the more they sort of try to ratchet down and collect and use newer and newer dirt they're trying to collect to take out of context and twist out of proportion and give out to the planet. So if I bumper tap someone on accident 1 mile per hour, I try to ram and kill someone. And I believe Amber Farr from Calabasas High is probably working on that angle, or at least people with authority are. Okay, so let's think about that. A bumper tap means that you're filled with anger and rage and trying to kill people with your car. Okay, so think about that. Doesn't make any sense. All these things are identical daily for 45 years. I'm 50 now, almost 51. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show you, and let me just... Okay, the window is supposed to be attached to the linkage, correct? Before I took off the door skin yesterday or 2 days ago, my temporary wedge here. When we unscrew this, we're going to see if the window regulator, the 2 clamps, are bolted to the glass. Okay, now let me show you. Okay, this clamp and this clamp, see this goes up and down. This clamp with a, I don't know if you can see that, a screw, so I think it's like a 10 or 8 millimeter. One over here, like probably an 8 millimeter, pushes the clamp together and it holds the glass. Okay, now Safelite, I'm assuming, and we're gonna see, I'm guessing they pulled off the door skin, they unscrewed this bolt, they unscrewed that bolt, they loosened the glass, they loosened the clamps just a tad with this manager Mike and corporate, they all know about it, and probably all the other shops worldwide, and the people at Bob's Big Boy, the car enthusiasts that don't want me talking about Hawaii Racing, Pineapple Joe, when I was 16, 30 years ago, and my father making up lies I stole $10,000 because my father didn't want me working on engines and building engines. It's not a male testosterone thing here, it's a government extermination thing. We think Kevin's gonna kill himself or other people, we're gonna put him in a cage, okay, all these weird shit. My father putting bullet holes in his 300E Mercedes at the same time with LAPD, probably. Common sense says LAPD put the bullet hole with my father. In a 300E, telling the world I tried to scare kill him, but not telling me anything when I'm the one that sort of was walking in his garage going, what's going on with your car? Who did that? Okay, so my father covering it up, and that somehow jumps to Mike Huntley and Melody the stripper sent after me, okay? So think about that. As I walked into the Candy Cat today after eating at Cupid's, I'd never been in there. It's still there after 30 years, where Melody the stripper used to work, and he said, you look familiar. I said, well, I've never been here, but this is, you know, where Melody the stripper worked when she was sent after me by Mike Huntley, and he sort of dropped his shit and got scared and sort of jumped in his car and left. It was the bouncer there. Even though I wasn't being threatening, I was just saying, here's a card and this is the truth, whatever. The same thing, when you see the guilt, you see the guilt. Okay, so remember what I'm talking about here is a federal crime. It's worldwide groups in every state and country trying to kill one person or exterminate him and steal all my money and cars and house on top of that. That's why it is insurance fraud of connected events, to keep destroying my cars, keep trying to make money off me. It's sort of all the above. Torture, kill, and steal the money, right? So if someone puts a bullet hole in my head to steal my house, is it about money? Or is it about killing? Or is it about anger? Well, it's about all of them, correct? All of the above, okay? You have to be an angry, bitter criminal to to put a bullet in someone's head and then steal their house and cars and spend the time and energy to figure out how to get everything in their name and things like that, okay? So that's a lot of time, energy, and work, and it's all the above, okay? So killing is not, as Mike Huntley would say, something like honesty amongst thieves or something like that. I don't remember. The way he's trying to sort of make me think I'm a horrible person. Killing people is killing people. That's anger and rage, and stealing people makes them homeless and starve in the street and die, okay? So these aren't small little events. Okay, so we're gonna see if the clamps are loose, and I'm pretty sure the glass is off the clamp. And you can, by deductive reasoning, at the very moment I take my car in, because someone smashes the front windshield, pretty sure linked to the HOA. We don't want you here or anywhere else in the world. And by the way, this whole thing that, Kevin, you need to move, has been every place I've ever lived since 5 years old. Every college house, every state, you name it. And they always say, well, just move. And I say, well, how many fucking thousands of times do I have to move? It's not going to solve the problem of a worldwide murder operation, correct? Okay, so once again, Kevin, how are you jumping from Woodland Oaks HOA to the automotive industry, to coffee shops, to pool halls, to Southern Oregon State College with Kelly Hatch sent after me, to University of Colorado, Val Morozov, and 1,000 other people sent after me, and the city notified, tried to set up and frame Kevin. Kevin's crazy, Kevin's crazy. Kevin didn't ask me out, he's crazy. Kevin went out on one date with me and didn't like me, he's crazy, he needs to die. Just thing after thing. Almost every social interaction since 5 years old has been like that. I don't think there's one that's ever not been like that. And if you watch me, if you were to come out to like Bob's Big Boy next Friday, you'll watch me sit in a chair and you'll watch every single person walk up and provoke me, just like they do here and everywhere else, worldwide. And you'll say the guy's just sitting there minding his own business. He's not doing anything to you, he's just sitting there. So what reason are you walking up provoking him, one person after the next since 5 years old? In a passive-aggressive manner, okay? And then they'll make up the cover-up lies. Well, he didn't ask out a girl, so he's provoking the girl or something like that. Well, that's not provoking. That's some girl that didn't get her way, like Skylar from, I guess she lived by my brother, but she contacted me on internet-related chat in the mid-90s, befriending me to try to frame me over and over with everyone else, okay, in these worldwide Kill Kevin networks. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull off, I'm going to take out the window regulator there. It's 4 bolts, and then 2 more bolts for the clamps. Okay, it's not a big job. If you go into the dealer, or an auto shop and they say it's $1,000, they're stealing your money, okay? It's an hour job with a $50 part. Okay, think about that. Okay. Now the auto shops are gonna get mad. They're gonna say, Kevin, we're trying to make money here. Well, you're welcome to make money, but don't fucking try to steal, rape, and pillage everyone because they don't know, okay? And that's the point I'm making, because like me, I don't make much money, and I can't afford to keep going back to the shop and paying, you know, $1,000 for the window, the glass, the rear glass, the side glass, the guy that rammed my rear bumper a couple months ago or 6 months ago, the next thing, and by the way, I have like 23 or 24 insurance claims now since I bought the Corvette 2.5 years ago, and the USAA Insurance is now trying to cover it up. We're trying to intimidate you, we're investigating you. And you can tell that even though I've uploaded 1 terabyte of car things with people doing things to my cars and 100,000 other things and 20 police reports and shown that I've not only done my due diligence, that I know worldwide and this is going on, and it's not even disputable whether it is or isn't. The insurance company is sort of trying to thug and intimidate. We're going to investigate you to raise rates and this and that. Sort of at the same time, these events are happening, showing an insurance fraud. In other words, someone working with USAA is working with people to destroy my cars and then double charge USAA, and probably someone in USAA is getting kickbacks. And then on top of that, we have Safelite, a partner with USAA, which is probably an umbrella corporation with USAA, with paying off someone with a USAA car list to go around and destroy cars. Right now I'm just speculating here, but I know for sure when it comes to me, that is what they're doing. And at the same time, they're trying to cover it up by trying to get me to put signatures and things on paper to say, look what Kevin's doing, using me as a scapegoat or a patsy for their mass crime spree, right? Okay, and we see this jump from industry and place to place, which doesn't make any sense. And so you go, what the fuck's going on? No matter how many times I walk away from this situation, it keeps jumping to the next group and the next group. Hence, FBI being notified that this is a federal operation, not just about theft, but about killing to take or locking someone in a mental institution. And the reality of the situation, it's really about Kevin exterminating a 5-year-old, Kevin Perelman, and trying to make him look crazy. But let's isolate let's make it modular. Okay. And you take all those modules. Why does someone kill to take money? Because they're angry and enraged and they don't like someone, okay? People kill people and steal their money because they're filled with anger. And if they keep following you from place to place doing it, it means I don't like Kevin, I want him dead. It doesn't mean I'm trying to make money, okay? Now he's gonna take the money going, that piece of shit, I don't like him, so I'm gonna steal his money. It's both. It's not one or the other, it's both, okay? I'm gonna kill him because I hate him, and I'm gonna steal his money because he owes me because I hate him, okay? Things like that. Okay, so it's not just theft, it's personal. Everything, every interaction, every hate interaction from 4 to 7 billion people that I have to deal with, 100,000 to 1 million per day, visually or on the internet or whatever, however you wanna, that's hate. That is not a planet of people in a conspiracy to steal some guy who has no money that never had a chance to make money because since 5 years old he's being hunted by every college teacher and high school teacher and college professor and all of his friends growing up. Okay, it's not about money. Money is the cover-up. Okay, and that's why it says right here, a worldwide war against a 5-year-old. It's obviously not about money. Okay, because it's not about money. Money is the cover-up to sort of give me disinformation. And if every person I meet worldwide knows me, but they don't know me, and they sit there throwing mental rocks at my skull, for whatever reason, even if I became an alcoholic because of it, do they have the right to kill me because they don't like me? Or try to lock me in a mental institution? No. The answer is no, and I believe that every person would agree to that answer, unless your name's Kevin Perelman, they lie to my face. Okay, so let's get back to topic here. I'm going to pull this off. We're going to pull out this door regulator. It is 4 bolts. I think that's one of them. And we're going to see if this falls out with the glass staying still. And you already know it is, right? Okay, so, and I can't really prove it on camera unless I had a second person watch me unscrew it, but you already know because, okay. All right, so anyways, and so I'll just stop this and okay, now I'm gonna video this right now. If Safelite glass says, well, Kevin destroyed it and then came in here because he's screwing with us or something like that. I just want to show you this. Okay, I've just taken out these 2 bolts. Okay, the other 2 bolts are here. Now I can't, okay, this is stuck on here with glue. What is the point I'm making? Okay, this is stuck in here on glue, so I could not have really done anything. Now the question is, well, no, I don't think I could, but if I go to the brackets, I know I can get, okay, this is where the first one is, so let's say he loosened this bracket on the glass, but he couldn't get to this one. Okay, so I don't even know what this is proving, but it just shows that, let's just say this, it shows I've never replaced this. This is factory, and you can see this looks like a GM, probably cereal type of label here. Okay, so I personally, and they might say, Well, because we know Kevin did that one. Okay, the guy, the old neighbor there kept trying to jam my windows shut and cram hundreds and hundreds of things in it and cards and everything else per day, and finally the linkage broke. It wasn't because of the cards. It was from something else, but it's one of the old Jewish people on that side that doesn't want me passing out cards, and he's somehow linked, I'm Jewish, he's somehow linked to my psychotic murdering Jewish family, trying to cover it up by saying, you're passing out cards, and I don't like that. And so then they'll say it's about litter or something, and then they'll try to cover it up, but it's really about you don't talk or we kill you. We're going to kill you, or we're going to exterminate you. You don't talk or we kill you. Okay, this is a Jewish person. So when you're thinking about the Holocaust, Auschwitz, or whatever, this is a piece of shit that maybe he was born Jewish, but he's not Jewish, or maybe he was Jewish or is Jewish, but he's a psychotic murderer. And just because you're Jewish doesn't make you a good person. Okay, that's, I guess, the point I'm making. He's a piece of shit that's involved in something highly illegal, while running around with groups of white supremacists and everything else, trying to kill me since I kissed a black girl at 8 years old, and then saying that I'm a white supremacist. Well, notice how every argument's the same? They do it to me, and then they say I'm. Okay, so every argument is similar. Okay, so I guess the point I'm making here, the only thing that really is provable is that this is factory and untampered, and the only thing that was fixed was this linkage up in here for the door. It was, I don't think it was tampered with. I think the clip just got old. And once again, how did everyone instantly, AAA came out to open the door, to Slim Jim the door, and everyone instantly knew that that lock was broken. And when I went in for parts, they were harassing me. And okay, right, and you're gonna say, the guy's trying to fix his fucking truck. What the fuck's your problem? And how do you have the information? That's the only question anyone on the planet Earth should be asking, is how is everyone getting this information? And it's obviously about killing someone, because nobody would do that. Okay, so when Mike Huntley is saying, quoting lines from Crocodile Dundee, first he says my behavior, then he says something like, when someone has a problem, we tell Wally, Wally tells the town, no more problem. What that really means is, I'm defaming your name with worldwide groups, trying to kill you, but he's saying it in a different method. Okay, so Mike Huntley is really saying I'm trying to kill you with government NSA worldwide tools, but he's going to word it in a way that you're a horrible person when he says I've given you enough rope to hang myself with, and you're going to say, so you paid Rody Morales off to take me to strip clubs? You wanted me to sign up to the gym where Rody Morales worked? You tried to have Rody Morales plant police drugs in my house, and because I didn't fall for any of the traps, that I'm a bad person, and he's giving me enough rope. Okay, is it a crime to go to a strip club and get a lap dance? No. Is it a crime to pay someone to take you to a strip club and then try to kill someone? Yes. Okay, so the argument doesn't make sense when Mike Huntley says I've given you enough rope to hang yourself. It really means that I'm hunting you to kill you and I need to cover it up. And Mike Huntley was originally Jason Perelman's friend. We need to put Kevin, me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio to try to flip me out when I was 14 or 16. After I stopped him from running after my friend with a crowbar and jumped in the way of it, Greg Waugh. Okay, so think about that. So we are going to now take this off and see if those clamps are on. Okay, so okay, and just note for the bracketry, notice how these screws are still in the door skin. I want you to note that. The screws are still in the door skin, meaning that they ripped off. They didn't unscrew. they didn't unscrew the screws on the door skin. They ripped it off. Okay, they pried it off and broke the little the plastic tabs, which they're not really that strong or anything, but you know, they're probably easy to break. But and remember, these people do this for a living, so they pull off the door skin, and they know where the strong points are and where the tabs are, and I'm sure they've had 100 GMC Envoys come in. They know. Okay, think about that. Okay, so I pulled this screw out. I can now pull this back. The plastic is the glue, whatever. Okay, here's one bolt for this side, and then the other bolts, as you can see, were pretty glued. I can get to a little bit. You can hand a glue rip. Okay, and I'm gonna actually. Okay, we're hitting the speaker, and technically, you could have technically pulled that screw out and gotten here, but we can see how it's broken. So, okay. So either way, that's really irrelevant. The point here is that when I get this out, I'll show you it's the factory GM part. Okay. This is from, look, it looks completely different. This is from like A Power or something, and they're probably using the name like A Power about Alexa some more, and then they'll say Kevin's crazy and he's stalking Alexa some more because he bought an A Power part or something like that, right? And they've been doing that weird schizo shit to me for 45 years, then saying Kevin's a schizo. Okay, so that's one of the Dr. Ronald Barry Perelman tactics at 5 years old, is to try to make Kevin look like he conforms to media and he's crazy. Now, the only thing you should be asking is, why is Dr. Ronald Barry Perelman that sick of a fuck? Did he hate his 5-year-old and would do such a thing to his 5-year-old? These are questions that go through my mind every day because it doesn't make any sense. And there's a planet helping 4 to 7 billion people minute by minute every day, helping with a sick, demented child rapist father. I'll just say it how it fucking is. On a mental level, to do horrible, unspeakable things to a child and never ever stop with worldwide support. Okay, so now these are some of the topics that they don't want coming out because it's so fucking disgusting and disturbing. And I'm going to note one more thing, which you can't really see very well here, because these are the types of things they do. Okay, it's going to be really difficult to see from this angle. See that white? I don't know if you can see that. You see that white door off the hinges? Actually, let's just do it right. Make sure I have my keys. Okay, let's just do it right. Okay. Okay, they do this type of thing daily, so, okay, you see the door off the hinges there? Okay, I live here. Okay, door comes off the hinges, then they start working on my door, or maybe the other way around, I'm not sure. Okay, now, Kevin, do you know 100% that that is not just a coincidence? No, I don't, but I know that the other day we had that little bent, what looks like a kind of a flimsy pry bar here, the door, and 1,000 other. Remember that these things happen every day. Okay, these events, these unheard of coincidences, I get on thousands of video per day of these. Hey, there's 10 black Civics have showed up there with the Citiguard Security guard Mansour and his Civic, and then 10 black Civics on that side, and then they start turning maybe 4 blue ones go on that side the next day, and then maybe 4 red ones on that side, and that alone, that one out of thousands of tactics, that one has been going on for, I noticed 21 years ago here, and it's worldwide now. So about 2011 is when the groups of cars backwards started, because someone in Encino Starbucks didn't want me parking backwards. I parked backwards once in Encino Starbucks. Okay, so if you understand the nature of what is really going on, these are child rapists, they're child rapist supporters, and that's all they really are. They can say whatever they want, but their actions are their actions. Okay, I don't like Kevin, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill Kevin because he's a bad person. You're a murderer. You can think whatever you want about me, but once you start trying to kill me, you're a murderer, and all of a sudden you're a hypocrite and a liar. Okay, Kevin's a thief, I'm gonna steal his money, you're a hypocrite and you're a liar and you're a criminal, because to go out and steal and say I'm trying to steal that guy's money because he's a criminal means that you're a criminal trying to justify your actions. Okay, you're a hypocrite and you're a criminal. Okay, and that's what Mike Huntley is and is a child rapist murderer, and he can say whatever he wants about me, but once he starts hunting me to kill me with these mass groups and my brother, then he's a child rapist murderer no matter what he says about me, correct? Okay, it's not what you say, it's what you do. Okay, so, and then they'll try to cover it up, like we had some Asian girl at the faux place just walk up and go, "Did you go after people?" And you're like, well, that could have 1,000 different meanings. Like if I sue someone for damages to my life, technically I'm going after them. Am I a bad person? Well, the court decides whether they're innocent or guilty. I don't decide it, the court decides, and you don't want that happening. Why? Because you're a child rapist supporter, and that's the only reason. Okay, so I'm jumping topics. Let's get back. I'm going to pull out the other side. We're going to see if this just falls out, which is my guess is going to just fall out. And we're going to look at the bracketry, and you're not going to really be able to tell anything solid other than somehow this loosened here, I think. Oh, maybe it's here. It might be here. I'm not sure. And there's probably one over there, or maybe you adjust them down there. I'm not sure. But, and then maybe this side came off and that side didn't. We'll see. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking on this side. I've unscrewed the first 4 bolts. This side surprisingly is still on, so I'm a little surprised about that. And technically, even if that side is still on, you know, they could have done something to the regulator here. So let's take a look. Okay, and ironically here, you can't really see too well, but ironically this one is on the glass too. So that rules out them loosening this and that. Okay. But that doesn't mean they can't sabotage that. Okay, so ironically. Okay, I duct taped my window up like I've been doing to keep the window from sliding down. Now ironically, those 2 brackets were attached. So that was a little surprising. I thought they'd be off. I also want to note that this window business, this whole window business, especially this one here, I pulled off the door skin at one point. I would dump handfuls of crap out the door because they kept shoving it in the window per hour. Okay, so the window thing starts because I passed out a card on a car because they won't stop with their mental illness tactics for 45 years. Oh, I don't have a card on me. And I sort of slide it in the window here. And then the lame cover-up excuse is you destroyed my window and you jammed my window, so everyone worldwide works on my windows. Okay, so you understand how this works. Okay. Hey, there's worldwide groups trying to kill me. I tell someone, what are some of the death threats? No relaxing for you, nigger. You better accept what's going on or it's going to get a lot worse for you. I pass out information you've been lied to. Oh, a card was on my car. You jam my windows. We're all going to hunt you and kill you with worldwide groups to jam your windows. Okay, think about it. The Anita Perelman and Jennifer Hess karma kill tactic, okay, with the police and the government trying to say, hey, you did this and we're going to now do that to you, but really it's been them nonstop since I was 5 years old with worldwide child rapist murder groups. Okay, back to the window here. I did not earlier, when I first took off the door, find much down here, so they're not really putting too much in this side, but this side, if you understand that if I'm parked on the street, they'll walk by on the sidewalk and they'll go for these windows closest. Okay, right? And that's all that's being done. Oh, and also when they smash the glass, where did they smash? Right here by the camera. They smashed by the camera. Okay, so just like the police got caught 6 times trying to break in my house on those security cameras, and the bunk arrest with Terrence Scroggins, what was the prosecutor working on? Why do you have a security camera? You're crazy. Wait, I have a security camera, so I'm crazy, but you're hunting people with security cameras because you're not trying to break in their house? Okay, think about it. And why are they trying to break in my house? They're just making up reasons to try to make me look crazy too. Like my brother threatens at 16, me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution. They're trying to find anything they can to justify my extermination and cover it up. Okay, so when we're talking about Safelite glass here, insurance fraud, because they're working with the insurance companies to destroy my cars and then work on me and steal my money and steal their money and then pin it on me, correct? Oh, Kevin, you're working with these auto shops because... Kevin, you're working on with the auto shops because you know how to take off your door skin. Okay. Well, I'm fucking like public enemy number one. I have no friends, okay? And there's not even a reason for it. So the argument is absurd that I could be working with all the auto shops that have been hunting me since 16 for buying books on how to build car engines with my father, right? It doesn't make any sense. Or Star Auto House Mercedes, loosening the lug nuts on a Mercedes and telling me to drive the car home to Chuck Norris to try to get the car to, and the same mechanic or the same facility throwing wrenches at me and shit like that, okay? So I'm not friends with the guys throwing wrenches at me trying to kill me, okay? They're coming after me because they want me fucking dead. The question is, why does it jump from almost every single human being to the next since 5 years old, no matter what place or industry or college professors or you name it? Well, these are unanswered questions in unprecedented situations with psychotic murderers with psychology degrees in my family, and most of them do have secondary psychology degrees. Okay. Trying to torture and kill with psychological warfare known as gang stalking or gaslighting to destroy a brain and stop it from functioning and force someone into cages or facilities. Okay, so when we're talking about this insurance fraud operations, because that's what they are, it goes deeper to something much deeper. It's obviously not about money. But at the same time, a crime is a crime. So stealing someone's money is a crime. Theft is a crime. Even if their end goal is to kill and take my car and my house. It's like when you get pulled over for a speeding ticket and he says, oh, well, I'm going to give you a ticket for this, I'm going to give you a ticket for that. And you have 6 counts of different things. Okay, theft, murder, conspiracy to commit murder, using the internet hacking tools to kill. I'm just making shit up. Internet hacking with the intent to kill or something like that, right? I mean, it sounds cheesy, but in my case, it's actually true because all the computer hacking tools they've been using on me since '94, they're doing it with intent to torture and kill, okay? Eradicate. So it is attempted murder and ongoing crime in progress. Okay, and then when you have people like there, working with people from there, working with people from there, and working with people in fucking Ireland, in Russia, all across the internet, all in a giant murder venture to kill a 5-year-old who is now 50 years old. Okay, it is unprecedented in history what's been done in my life, and that is why they don't want anything truthful coming out, why the cops keep trying to make me look like a drug dealer and weird freaky things like this, okay, that are completely unheard of. The only question you should have to ask is, why is it so important to them that Kevin doesn't know anything about his life that you'll kill over it? Think about that. And these are the real topics that I never get to, which is you could be next, your wife could be next, your child could be next, your grandparents, your grandson, they all could be next. And if you don't believe it, you're just plain fucking stupid. You're plain ignorant and arrogant, like that Julia Sofia Reynoso girl sent after me 25 years ago with Rody Morales, which actually was Rody, I believe to be was Rody Morales, posing as a girl on the internet and things like that. Okay, so the linkage is out. Once again, if I didn't talk to you, it would take me a total of 15 minutes. I think this might be the VW provoker girl that's always working with groups of people. They don't like when I fix my car. No, there's someone different, Toyota. Okay, so the clip, see that plastic thing right there? Now this, by the way, this person might honk their horn, their alarm horn twice, and that is a provoking tactic, a passive-aggressive provoking tactic the world is told to do. Okay, so that plastic clip here, I'm trying to focus. Okay, so this white thing here, there, oh. Okay, so that plastic clip, this plastic clip is the mechanism to this that turns. And these things go back, and there's a little short one, and it's a fucking nightmare to get in there. So what happened was the plastic clip broke, the linkage fell to the bottom. I call AAA. I don't know, this is all sealed up. Okay, I call AAA. Well, this was about 2 years ago or something. I call AAA. I say my key doesn't work. And you know, he sort of asks about forced entry, or I go, I don't fucking know. I just know I came here. And then they start collecting the information to use against me. Okay, so then I go out and I research it, and I realize that it's a 10-cent plastic clip there. They get old. Okay, so if you go on YouTube and research the lock door linkage in this plastic clip, you'll have like 100 different YouTubes of how to buy a new, you can get these by Dorman or whatever, that's the company name, little plastic 10-cent, 50-cent clip here. And of course what I do is I go into the dealer. Now remember that I just bought a Corvette 2.5 years ago. Someone tampered with the leaf springs. All the Colorado auto shops were doing the same things as here. Okay, I didn't know that Corvette had leveling bolts. You just do a couple of turns and it changes the angle. That's all you have to do is a couple of turns on a leveling bolt. Just get under. Okay, so someone at a Hotel Ramada messed with the leveling bolts. I take it to John Elway Chevrolet. They lie saying the leaf springs fatigued in a $24,000 C6 Corvette 2013. Yeah, right. But you know, I know a guy and he can sell you coilovers, and you know, it's only like $6,000. Oh, but how much is it to adjust the leveling bolt? $100? You get it? Also do an oil change, leave a day or two later, the oil sensor light comes on in my Corvette, and then I tow it to Stevenson Chevrolet going, what's going on? And what's going on? And oh, you need a new engine. That's $22,000. By the way, you also need a new radiator because we just slipped that in here. You get it? Okay, so now what I'm saying is, you really think that they're going after Kevin Perelman because he's crazy? Does that make sense to you? Okay, that billions and billions of dollars are invested on a crazy guy that they were hunting before I knew it was going on, because I found out at 29 and it had always been going on. Do you really think? No, they're using it as leverage to try to silence, isolate, and destroy, and eradicate, and lock into mental institutions or facilities or jail cells, because they don't want me to exist in society. And that is the only reason. Once I made it to around 5 years old, my father said my son needs to be rid of the world. Okay, that's the only reason, and that's what they don't want coming out. And most of the people know this. Okay, most of the people do not want that ugly truth coming out, and they want to restrain me from saying anything, or even knowing it, trying to brainwash me and mentally batter me quiet every day. And if I'm wrong, why do you have to do that? Why can't I just be a crazy conspiracy theorist? Okay, but remember that my father's labels at 5 years old, or that COVID's violent paranoid schizo, and did I hear him say it? No, but I understand what's going on now, that my father made up the lie, and now he's got to cover it up. Okay, so let's go look at the linkage here. He's got to cover up his crime to exterminate his child, because his child never did anything. Okay, but the only crime I committed was turning 29, met with Mike Huntley's death threat, said you're a dead man with worldwide support, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Okay, now, I'm not going to say here, that I'm a forensics car door expert or anything like that. What I am going to say, we now know that was clamped on. They did not loosen that. We know that the cable itself, now this is an original 2017 factory door linkage. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to say that these things don't get old. However, there is a level of tampering and there is a level we don't know of. Does that make sense? Okay. This is old. This cable went bad. It is stripped. I don't know how it's a steel cable. You can see it fringing or whatever they call it. Was the timing coincidental? Did someone come in with a little wire snip? Okay, think about it. We know they took the door. We know they took the door off, the door skin off. There's no doubt about it. No if, then, but. We know he kept lying that they can't put it on fully, because that's not what they do at Safelite Glass. They don't know how to put the side door panel back on when they switch the glass. So he lied about that. It is probably audio recorded. I don't want to dig through it. Because I have to deal with this shit every day. It's probably, I could have saved, I didn't save it. It wasn't on the DVR because they unhooked my DVR when they replaced the front windshield. Okay, theoretically you could take a wire snips and you could sort of lip one of the side here and sort of get a little strand off, and then when the cable goes back and forth, right, it's going to take a couple days and it's going to strip out, and that could have been a possibility, and it probably was, but I'm not going to say I know for sure. Also, it is old. It is 15 years old. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up, so they see me, and then a little double horn honk. Oh. Okay. Okay, so if we look at the new one, yeah, these are whatever. These are covered, and okay. So what do we know for sure? We know that's our problem. Okay, we know that's our problem. We know that the two brackets, surprisingly, were bolted. I thought they'd be off. But that cable, now where's that cable location? The cable location would have been around here, so this would have been, they could have pulled this back and took a wire snips and sort of, or maybe like something to sort of cut one of the wire strands or so. It's hard to know. Okay. Can I say I know that for certain? Okay, I just want to see if you double horn honks. Okay, I just want to see if they would do the alarm thing. Sometimes they do it twice, sometimes they do it twice, and they walk out, they do it 2 more times. Okay, so so here's the new one. By A Power or whatever, they're probably, Alexis Amore is probably running around, and one of the lawyers I just called, I was redirected to like a something. Okay, so you understand that. Remember that these worldwide mental illness conspiracies are worldwide. That's sort of repetitive, but okay, so what do we know? We don't have proof that someone messed with that, but we know it's very possible, correct? We do have proof of that, of the door skin falling off, as hey, your car's ready, but your door's loose, and you open the door and it just goes clink and falls on the ground. Okay, so we know that the door skin was pulled off 100%. Okay, no if then but. We know that they wanted me to come back and try to make it look like I'm a criminal and trying to do all this, and we know that this has happened 100,000 other times with every person, place, and industry since I was 5 years old, especially Pineapple Joe at Hawaii Racing when I was a young child. Now, what they're going to try to do is say, see, we proved that Kevin's a liar and Pineapple Joe wasn't lying, that Kevin stole his father's $10,000 and things like this. It's all bullshit. And, well, Kevin, how do you know that? It was never said to you. Well, it wasn't said to me directly, but when my father's running around saying Mike Huntley stole his girlfriend's check. What was her name? Alex, some French girl, Alexander. Mike Huntley stole Alexander's check, and I said, how did Mike Huntley steal Alexander's check? And really what my father was doing was alluding that it was me by saying it was Mike Huntley, and then several years later, he's working angles with Victoria Walker saying, Kevin, can you cash a $10,000 check for me? Okay, so all these random people that were coming in my life, befriending me, and Victoria Walker paid off to give me the toy gun, exposing my father and LAPD for putting the bullet hole in the 300E Mercedes because he's trying to use the toy gun as see Kevin's crazy and it looks real and he's gonna leave the part out that it's a toy gun and okay, right? So they're cover-ups and they're trying to attack my credibility by saying Kevin's trying to get us to fix his window or something like that, right? Okay. Well, Kevin, do you have proof? I mean, I have what I'm showing you here, but let's be realistic. If I walk outside my house right now and 50 people see me and throw rocks at my head or mental rocks at my head, you have your answer. There's no reason they should be doing that. Even if I was arrested for bank robbery, it wouldn't be happening, okay? So they're doing it for a different reason. They're doing it because someone doesn't want me ever having a friend or someone to talk to about my life. They want to defame me before that can happen and keep me isolated, correct? Now, you're going to say, why is the auto industry doing it? Because they're fucking dug a hole for them. They dug a ditch for themselves with Pineapple Joe when I was 16 at Hawaii Racing with his 426 Hemi shit. And that is why, okay, in the auto industry, but then it's going to jump to the next place. And they think that Pineapple Joe is better than me and he's allowed to rape and pillage 16-year-old kids, okay? So let's put this into fucking perspective here. I'm a 16-year-old kid reading books about how to rebuild engines and rebuilding engines. I walk into a 40-year-old shop and he's like, well, the 16-year-old is competing with me and I'm going to rid him of the world. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any fucking sense. But what it does say is Pineapple Joe is a child rapist, okay? He will go after 16-year-old kids in high school. In between PE and English class, he will go after fucking kids, okay? That's what it tells you. What business does Pineapple Joe and Simi Valley at Hawaii Racing have going after fucking 10-year-old kids trying to fucking exterminate them? Okay? For any fucking reason. Or is he just competing with me? Well, that's pretty fucking disgusting, right? I mean, does he screw 10-year-old girls up the butt? Okay? I mean, think about it. Alright, so let's get back on track. Ha ha ha. Okay, so I'm going to put this in, and really at this point, there's not much to talk about here, but you get the idea of the overall big picture of what everyone in the auto industry, California, every state in the U.S., every country, our entire government, every police officer, every FBI agent is trying to cover up NSA level operations to have me, a 5-year-old, killed, flag and kill operations using psychological warfare. Where did gang stalking and gaslighting derive from? A man named Adolf Hitler on his next resume. So when you're saying, hey, that's weird that Kevin kissed a black girl at Sunny Skies Day Camp when he was 8 years old and she was 8 years old, and there's worldwide black people hunting me for it and saying I'm a white supremacist because I kissed a black girl at 8 years old and I was Seth's stalker and this and that and blah, 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 and it just doesn't stop, right? By the way, how do you know me? I don't know you. Something wrong right there. Something's not kosher right there, okay? I smell pork. I smell swine. Okay, so think about that. If you can't admit you know me while coming after me or trying to befriend me, then it's not me, it's them. Okay, so I'm going to button this up, and obviously I still have to order a new door skin, but I'll at least have the glass working, and then, you know, maybe I'll do a short closing piece there, but that's, I think you got the gist of everything. Okay, so yeah. Okay, this is more for the people that don't want to get raped at the automotive shops, that I've been completely mistreated by all of them in a mass conspiracy. And also remember, when I go in, almost every mechanic sees me and whistles at everyone in the world. I'm assuming they're insinuating that I'm a whistleblower for Pineapple Joe. Well, I mean, look, I turned 29, the guy's a worldwide campaign to kill me. It's his own fucking fault. Okay, so I never would have known, I never would have said anything, but the moral of the story is you shouldn't go out rape, pillaging, and killing people and expect nothing to come back your way. It's nobody's fault but your own. Okay, so anyways, this is taking me 15 minutes, and this is more for the person that wants to understand the mechanics here when they get that $1,000 bill for replacing a piece of glass, or, okay, so, alright, so, a little off topic here, but, Okay, if it took me 15 minutes to put that on, it took me 15 minutes to put that off. Let's say a door skin another 10 minutes. That's 30, 40. And we'll throw in an extra 20 minutes for possible weird scenarios. That's an hour job. Okay, that's an hour job. I still need to buy a new door skin, but if I wanted to put on my door skin without these brackets, the parts here that were ripped off, right, because when you're pulling here, there's no support by your hand. Okay, so I'll just buy a new one for, I'll probably find some, hopefully I can find something cheap on eBay used, because this truck's a piece of shit. Right, so that's pretty much it. Now, let me just finish up some things and I'll sort of do a conclusion. Okay, so to sum it up, the window is now fixed. I still gotta buy a new door skin. The little fray, what do you call it, like a fray on the wire, which they probably sort of pulled off, right? And it went up for a day or two, and then it just finally... Okay, now I have no proof of that, but I do have proof. Hey, your door skin's loose and it falls on the ground, okay? And then the shitstorm with Safelite and corporate and their little hate and harassment to try to make me look crazy, and that's the part that pisses me off, okay? They're not being professional about it, they're belittling, they're trying to make it look like I'm a criminal, and then they're blasting out worldwide to everyone. This guy came in and he tried to, okay, right, now we all know the truth. It's blatantly fucking obvious. I deal with it minute by minute every day. I get thousands of incidences per day on video. I've been doing that for 15 years, maybe 10 years, I'm not sure. I got 75 terabytes, maybe 65 terabytes of downloadable video for the world to see. Maybe 3 or 4 years of daily narrated minute by minute worldwide videos. Okay, so that being said, I don't fucking need it. I'm 50 years old. I've got nothing out of life. More importantly, and you can't have friends or talk to people because they're trying to overpower you and silence you, and then they want you as their slave, and then they'll try to throw some cover up that you're a racist or something like that. Okay, so it's very important. Okay, and that might be why they got so mad about a Whipple for my Corvette. I mean, how dare I? Okay, so anyways, that note, by me going through USAA and using their Safelite buddies, okay, where they get kickbacks or referrals, or it's an umbrella corporation, by someone or a group of people that keep destroying my cars, all of them. And on this car we have this window, that window, doors, people ramming the bumper. I've lost track, there's so many things. Okay, go to insurance, get your window fixed. Well, I didn't like the camera there, they fix that, they break that, you got to come back. They're going to try to get you to do two USAA claims, 2 different USAA claims, okay? And they're going to try to get 2 different co-pays with Safelite. Now, I've seen this isn't a one-time thing here. This isn't a one-time thing. They keep doing it, and the whole weird thing about you have a problem too from my mother, and pairs of cars and twos, and girls coming after me, one with black hair, one blonde hair, over and over, and the whole thing that's been going on since I was 5 years old, switching and rotating in these thousands of tactics. They are about making money, but that's not that's the cover-up to the real agenda to exterminate me and try to make me look crazy, because what they're trying to do is get me to lash out in anger and rage and start shooting at people or just punching people that makes it look like it's random and for no reason, or like Kevin's too sensitive, because it just does not stop. Every single day, minute by minute, almost every social interaction, people walking by whistling when they see me, people that talk to me, hey man, how are you man, with mans incorporated from person to person. At Bob's Big Boy on Friday night, and this is every Friday night, there were probably 16 people that walked by and said, hey man, how are you, or what's going on man, okay? And this is every night, and they, ironically, they do it after I like go to the bathroom or something like that, right? Or if I walk into Bob's Big Boy and come out, they keep calling me man, that's when they start, okay? But it's different for each place, and there's thousands of similar tactics like that, with the worldwide conspiracies to torture me and kill me since 5 years old, and cover it up. Well, you know, this is how mechanics are, and blah, blah, blah. And they're not. I'm here to tell you, and we all know, that nobody else is in the situation I'm in, where every single mechanic he goes to worldwide Worldwide starts whistling and then saying it's going to be $15,000 to fix that window and shit like that, okay? So think about that, okay? And anyone that tells you that, like my father, Kevin, you don't know the way the world works, is full of shit, and he's a sick, demented child rapist. Okay, so, with psychological warfare, okay? I'm not talking physical, I'm talking psychological terror and torture to sort of try to get you to gnaw off your face or something like that, okay? You're gonna start developing social tics and all sorts of weird shit like this. Now remember that they have, all of them have secondary psychology degrees, okay? Okay, so the point I'm making here is that is unheard of, unchecked hate and rage for a 5-year-old. And the older I get, the more they try to collect things to use against me to justify what they're doing. And this isn't just a couple sickos, it's a planet working together, and for some reason they can't man up or muster up the strength to just say it's fucking wrong and what was done to my life is wrong, okay? And that's the problem. They want to bury it and cover it up, this situation, because they like to try to call me it for some reason, when they stop me from having friends or dating women and all those things. Okay, so, and of course any girl that I'm allowed to date has to own me and I'm their slave, and worldwide groups try to kill me if they don't get what they want, okay, on any level. Okay, so, yeah, I was thinking the word it because they use the whole it scam or whatever. Okay, so, that's pretty much it. We know there was tampering. We don't know exactly how much. What is the moral of the story, though? Let's talk about the moral of the story here. Once you start pulling off people's fucking door skins and shit, whether, let's just say that that was a coincidence, that they pulled off the door skin to fuck with me, and then the thing frayed and it went, because it is old, it's 13 years old. Once you start fucking with people or doing shit like that, be prepared to deal with the shit that you do, okay? And that's the bottom fucking line. And by tampering with my door and playing mind games, especially when I'm a worldwide target, and this has been done to me since 5 years old daily, they're creating their own situation, okay? All they have to do is be professional, not fuck with shit, and even if, worst case scenario, I do what I did and I call a corporation, I say, look, this was done and I want this fixed. Okay, go down and get it fixed. Call the manager, Mike. Oh yeah, come down and get it fixed. Try to make it look like I'm scamming their system or whatever, because they send me an email saying your warranty appointment is, I didn't say anything about a warranty appointment. I called the corporation. I said, your guy fucked with my fucking window. He pulled off the door skin and put it up back on wrong, right? So I'm not going to tell you I know the internals of how they're trying to set me up and frame me. But I am going to tell you that is what's going on, and that is why the FBI was called for insurance fraud, because they keep working on me over and over on all my cars, destroying them, and then trying to make money off me, and then set me up and say I'm a criminal and things like this. And that has also been going on since a child with LAPD, okay, and Colorado Police, and San Diego PD, and Melody the Stripper, and Mike Huntley, and I don't want to go down those 100,000 other things. And you're going to say, but why won't they leave this guy alone? And why is our planet trying to execute him because he turned 29 and found out he's the target of a worldwide execution? Okay, so the cover-up is that, hey, I'm trying to steal money from them. And okay, so now let's talk about what they've cost me. Okay, let's talk about what they've cost me. Okay, so I did not go to a mechanic. I bought the parts myself. $50, let's say 60, probably about $65 with tax for the window regulator. My own labor, let's say $100. That's $160. And I gotta buy a door skin here. Now I'm looking around for a used one, but if I want a new, it's $270 maybe. So what is that? 160, 270, is that 330, I think? So 330, we'll round it up to 400 for miscellaneous. So what I'm saying here is that Safelite owes me $400 because I chose to use them in their insurance fraud operation. And you can bet your ass that the person that keeps people that keep smashing my windows on my cars are linked to Safelite and linked to USAA to make money, but more importantly, to try to drag me through the mud by saying, look what Kevin's doing to us, okay? And the reason I say that is I explained earlier that USA is playing this game like, you know, we're wondering what you're up to there, Kevin, sort of in a very stealthily, you know, we might want to raise your rates, and, you know, and I'm not going to say, I'll leave it at this. It could be one bad apple at USAA Insurance. It could be one bad apple that's working with Safelite. But whatever, I'm just going to leave it at that. But it is worldwide, it is global, it is a federal crime. It has been going on for 45 years. They are going after all my cars since 16, and me, my credibility and my cars, where I can no longer have friends, get jobs, talk to people, walk out of my house, go anywhere in the world without minute by minute hate, rage, hostility, and Kevin needs to die. Is that a federal offense? Yes, it is. Just like Rex Schillenberger suing the city of LA federally with Sean Dinsey because putting him on Facebook is federally destroying his image, and what LAPD did to my name worldwide, starting at a very young age with my father. Okay, using NSA level kill tools with the internet to have me killed. That's a whole different ball game here. LAPD has been notified, FBI has been notified, Brew of Automotive Repair, California bar, has been notified. And remember that what's going on here is unheard of, because how do they have the resources for every mechanic on the entire planet Earth who sees Kevin to instantly contact every other mechanic? It's not possible unless an internet kill system was built around you with government NSA level tools, and people with authority contacted them saying this guy's crazy and do these things, okay? And the only thought that goes through my mind is if someone walked up to me and said that guy's crazy and do these things, or that guy's a criminal, do these things, I would be like, get the fuck away from me, you piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to help you going after and torturing and killing people, okay? If you're a police officer, then you go do your fucking job. And so the point I'm making here is when LAPD tells all my neighbors to hunt me and kill me, well, all those people are vigilantes, and whether they think they're doing the police's work or not, they're criminals. So Terrence Scroggins is a criminal, and Terrence Scroggins admits on the court stand that he was contacted by lead officer Dinsey to go after me before he started approaching me 100 times, and I have hundreds of videos of him approaching me and trying to instigate me, and then, oh, poor me, I'm calling the cops, okay? And this is not just one person. I've dealt with this my entire life, and it got really bad at 29 when I started finding out that things weren't coincidences, that they were actually all connected, okay? When you're talking about Kelly Hatch at Southern Oregon State College, her told to follow me up and play victim, all these events are connected, okay, in a mass worldwide extermination operation. And by the way, we can all benefit by stealing his money after we kill him, correct? Okay, so it's not really about money. It's a worldwide war against a 5-year-old, and it's obviously not about money. It's a father's hate for his child, and he will use his psychology degree to torture and kill or eradicate with my brother and all my friends growing up, and the people in college, and teachers and professors, and cities notified. Oh, and companies like Citiguard paid off to follow me from place to place, trying to threaten my life and then silence me and stop me from leaving my house, and hundreds of other security companies with them as well, okay? So think about that. Okay, there's been billions invested in my extermination to have me killed by the government, not for any actual reason, but Dr. Ronald Barry Perelman doesn't trust his 5-year-old, okay? I don't trust you, you don't have the right to live. Same thing that Adolf Hitler does, you're the inferior race, okay? Same thing that slave owners do. I think you're animals, or, okay, well, you're the lesser of species, or, it doesn't matter. The reasoning doesn't matter, okay? The only thing that matters is a crime is a crime. Torturing, killing, hurting, violating constitutional rights and protections are all crimes, and it doesn't matter your reasoning. Anyone's reasoning. Hey, I don't like that guy. Do I have the right to kill that guy? If I don't like him, no, I don't. I don't have the right to do anything. Okay, the only time I or you or anyone would ever be allowed to hurt someone is in self-defense. If it's a situation where it's you or them, no cop's going to come out and be able to save you because bullets are flying at you, fists are hitting you in the head, whatever. And that's it. There's no reason anyone's allowed to kill, hurt, harm, maim, torture, kill, unless it's to stop another one from doing it to you in a legitimate argument and reasoning, like when Bailey Bernard followed me home knocked the keys out of my hand while trying to get in the gate and started punching me, and I started punching him back. And the LAPD tried to bury it, which is interesting, showing that LAPD paid off Bailey Bernard to go after me, making up blatant lies that I have proven or can still prove. If you look at my court transcripts, it says Kevin never called the cops. If you get the 911 records, it says it shows I did call the cops, and I walked into the police station with the proof of the entire situation, which they tried to bury. Well, they did bury it because they didn't want me talking. And I got hundreds and hundreds of police reports, and all you would have to do to prove my innocence is to, like, if you're a lawyer, get record of all 911 calls from me and all police reports filed, and there's an enormous paper trail, hundreds and hundreds of incidences that I filed police reports and called 911 that they're trying to bury. Okay, so think about that too. So if the police don't want me having proof of anything that is going on, why? I thought the police were here to protect and serve, not hunt and kill Jews. Hunt and kill 5-year-old Jews. Okay, think about that.